In this episode, we're going to tell you 3 steps to pay off your mortgage early in less than 5 years. This title, this concept might seem pretty crazy to some people, but we've done this and we've narrowed it down to 3 simple steps. Well, they're simple on the surface. They require some work, but this is not going to be your typical video, your Dave Ramsey video, where he's talking about, just being frugal and doing these very basic things to where you're throwing a little bit of extra money on your mortgage every month. To me, that's not worth it. So in this video, we're going to talk about like the things you need to do to make it happen fast. Because, for me, I want financial freedom in my 30s, in my 40s. I don't want it when I'm 65.
Exactly. And yeah, when you go online to get the typical financial independent retire early advice, they're going to tell you, hey, this is a sin right here. Don't go and have that cup of coffee because that, $3, you could be putting that into your savings and putting that into your mortgage. And,
Mike, I tend to lean towards that view of things, but it's not the most important thing. It's important to be frugal. It's important to save. It's important not to live beyond your means. But these 3 things that we're going to get into are far more important. And if you do them correctly, you buy a little extra cup of coffee here and there, you go out to eat here and there. As long as you're not doing it to the extreme, those things aren't going to matter.
Right. You shouldn't have to sacrifice, just basic things that you want to do in your life. It's all about how can I do what I still like to do and live within my means while still being able to accomplish this goal right here. So Why don't we jump right into it?
Let's get right into it. So the first thing you need to do is to build an online asset. And we're going to define exactly what an online asset is. So an online asset is what we talk about on this channel all the time, typically a website. So an online asset all starts with a website. It could start with an Amazon type business, but we don't really recommend that. There's 3 online assets that we like. And I just want to be clear, when we're saying assets, that's a very, very important term because as you're going to see later, you're building a website or a property online that you can sell and a property that's going to make you money while you're running it. So the first step is to build the asset. Now, there's 3 types of assets that I think we consider the best ways to do this. Number 1 is a high-ticket dropshipping store where you're selling expensive products and you're ranking your website on Google to rank for these expensive products, and you're advertising your website on Google to, get people in front of the products you're selling when they're searching for the exact stuff that you're selling. So it's a shoe-in. So you're advertising it, people are searching it, people come to your site, people buy it.
And I want to talk briefly about why this is the number 1 thing. And it's number 1 because it is by far the easiest thing for a beginner to, someone new to online marketing to do. Because you're not selling your own products. You don't have to go and do some Shark Tank thing where you have to come up with some idea. These products already exist. They're expensive, that means you'll have a high margin on these products, so you can go and run ads. And even if you're a beginner to this, you can still do things in a way that you'll likely have success. You're not going to lose money advertising. And like you said, it is still an asset where you're building this website. After you run it for a couple of years, it will have a value that you can go to an online brokerage and then sell for a multiple of its monthly profit.
Right. So let's just use that type of website as a running example through this episode. There's lots of more types of website you can build that we talk about, like content websites. You can build, like I said, Amazon stuff. You can build Kindle businesses. But the high-ticket dropshipping website is, in our opinion, the best way to pay off your mortgage early, and we're going to get exactly into it why. So the next step is to run the asset. Now, you want to get the asset to the point where it's making profit every month, obviously. So once you get an online website making $1,000 profit per month, it's not that big of a stretch to get it to go to $5,000 profit per month. Because what you're doing is, again, you're advertising on Google, whether you're paying for it or you're doing search engine optimization. And there's a very, once you do that, you're solidifying yourself in the marketplace. Like, you're just going to be there all the time, and it's going to be growing all the time. You're not going to be going after social media campaigns that you're going to be constantly having to tweak the advertising and do all this crazy stuff.
Right. Like a lot of times if people are new to our videos or they're new to making money online, some of the things you initially run into involve, selling a product from China on Facebook or doing things on eBay, or all these things that, yeah, they can make you money here and there, but they're not building a skill over time, and they're not having a huge compounding effect. So it's like you were saying, Joe, if you know how to build a website to where it makes $1,000 a month, theoretically, you can just repeat that process on the same website to go to $2,000 a month, or you could start another website and get that to $1,000 a month. Right. So what we're doing here is we're actually building skills that compound on each other, because now it's not that you're just making $1,000 a month. You can go and do that, and now you're making $2,000 a month. Or, you have that $2,000 a month income stream coming in that has value in the marketplace. $2,000 a month. Again, there's a multiple that you can sell the website for. So now it's not just $2,000 a month. Maybe it's, $40,000 or $50,000. That's that level of asset you're holding.
Right. So I want to just spell this out a little bit clearly, because people that are watching this video might be a little bit new to what we're talking about. So say you have a store, and one of the things the store is selling is movie theater seating, and you're successfully advertising on Google for movie theater seating, and every month, every year, there's the same amount of people searching for that, okay? So you're getting a certain amount of sales every year from that. And then you add on, like, say, movie theater projectors to your store, and you advertise that successfully. And say you made $1,000 per month with the seating, and now you make another $1,000 per month with the projectors. So now all of a sudden you have a store making $2,000 per month, selling two things. And like you said, you've got the skills to basically sell whatever you want, because you understand search engines and how they work and how to position products in search engines to make sales. So that's what it's all about. So when you're running the asset, you're taking the skills and compounding them, like you said, adding new things to your portfolio, whether it's on existing sites or new sites, and you're basically getting the site to where the site is worth as much as your mortgage is. Here's where the magic comes in. Let's just say you have a mortgage for $200,000. So you have $200,000 left on your mortgage. That could be low, that could be high, depending on where you live, but let's just take a nice even number. Now, how much profit does your website need to be making per month to sell it for $200,000?
Well, I'd say
if you get a 40x multiple, meaning that you sell the website for 40 times its profit per month,
that's $5,000.
That's $5,000, which if you're doing what we're talking about, it's not really that hard. You just need 5 product lines that are making you $1,000 profit per month.
Right. And for instance, we sold our Kindle business, and that was at over a 40x multiple. So we got something like $300,000 out of that one particular business model. But all the while, we own a portfolio of websites. We've built dozens and dozens of websites, and a lot of different businesses. Some, make a little bit of money, some make a lot of money. But the point is, again, you are developing these skills that separate you exchanging your time for money. Now, when you learn the skill, you can implement it here, you can implement it there. And these things continually make money outside of your individual input. And that's how you kind of grow the cash flow beyond your mortgage value. But not only do
they make money, is that they have a value in the marketplace, which is we're going to get to in a second.
Yes, it's compounding.
Yeah. But you need to back calculate what your mortgage is to how much you need to generate in profit per month, to where when you sell your one website or your 2 websites, your website is what you get in for cash for that is going to cover your mortgage.
Right. So like you said, if you owe $200,000, if you could just make either one website or a set of websites that make over $5,000 a month, then you're basically at that point.
Right. So the final step in these steps is to sell the asset. Now, we're going to give you a couple tips, a little bit of background on that to sell the asset. So in order to sell something for $200,000, again, like we said, you need $5,000, but it's important that it's making $5,000 profit average for at least a year, because when you go to these brokerage marketplaces, they're going to average out your profit for a year, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to say, okay, maybe you made $10,000 this profit this month, $3,000 this month, yada, yada, yada. Over 12 or 6 months, your average is $5,000 profit per month. Let's multiply that by 40 and boom.
Yeah, exactly. And for example, if someone wants to go and look at examples of what we're talking about, if you go on empireflippers.com or quietlight.com or even flippa.com, which is more of just like a peer-to-peer type marketplace, you can see people selling their websites, and you'll see the multiples we're talking about. You'll see websites for sale for millions and millions of dollars. You'll see ones for sale for $50,000, $30,000. And these, if you go on like Empire Flippers and Quiet Light, these are all vetted by the brokerage to confirm that they're making this amount of money, and they are what they say they are, and these brokers help facilitate the sale. So, I mean, how many sites have we sold at this point, Joe?
7, 8, I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting close to that double-digit number. And some we've sold for a really small amount. Some we've sold for 6 figures.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think once you do this for the first time, even if you don't immediately go and you build $200,000 worth of portfolio value and you sell that all off, say maybe you just build one website and it makes $1,000 and you go and you sell it for $40,000, that's kind of a game changer in someone's life.
Yeah, that could be 1/4 of your mortgage.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, and to get something to, $1,000 a month, you do that, you sell it, and now you can go and spend your time and just repeat that again.
Right. I think the overarching theme here that we're trying to convey in this video is that selling online assets is the quickest way to pay off your mortgage, because if you compare it to your job or to building a brick and mortar business, your job, you can't cash out of your job necessarily unless you have like some interesting stock options or whatever. But most people, they don't have the opportunities to make it that high up, like in the corporate world where they have stock options. So you need to build something yourself that not only makes you income, but that you can sell. Because when you're working just a regular job, all you have is income. You have nothing that you can sell. And that's the difference between paying off your mortgage slowly till you get to, maybe you get some sort of financial freedom in your golden years when you're 65 and 70. That's the difference between that and doing it quickly, is creating something that you can sell. That's the only difference. And an online asset just so happens to be the best way to do that, because there's very little overhead, and you can repeat the steps over and over and over again once you learn the skills.
And I think it is one of the easiest options for someone to do, even if they have a job, even if they have kids. I think really anyone can go out, start an online business, and make $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Whether it's you write a bunch of articles, now you have a content website, or you start a dropshipping website, or any of the things we recommend and we talk about in other videos. There's something out there for everyone. And I think once you kind of make those first dollars and it starts to seem real, then you can get to the point where maybe this becomes something you want to quit your job and do.
Right. And I would say, this opportunity, like the opportunities that we're talking about, I would imagine they're going to be, flipping websites is probably going to be around for the next 10 to 20 years. And it's been around for a while before this, but I still think at the date of making this video, it's still an excellent time to start this business. Like, it's not too early where you don't know if it's going to be established, and it's not too late to where the internet is just something completely different and it's all run by AI or something, So I think still, now is the perfect opportunity to get into learning about this. And if you want to know how we created, how you can create $1 million in online assets with high ticket dropshipping, check out our free web class, buildassetsonline.com/playbook. We'll break it down for you there, or you can just check out the rest of the videos on this YouTube channel, on our podcast, because this is stuff we talk about a lot, and we get into more details on the specifics of running these businesses.
Absolutely. And as always, take it easy.